The story is titled Married by Mistake, a Lagos morning gone wrong. Sade Adeyemi had always been punctual. It was one of the few things she prided herself on in her otherwise chaotic life. But on this fateful Monday morning, Lagos had other plans. She overslept. Her iPhone had died during the night. The NEPA had done what NEPA does best, disappeared. Her small rechargeable lamp blinked weakly as she raced around her room, slipping into her blouse while brushing her teeth. Her flatmate, Nkechi, peeked into the room. "Shade, you look like you're about to fight NEPA with that shirt." "Calm down," Shade hissed. "Today is my pitch meeting with the investors. If I miss it, I can kiss my fashion line goodbye." Her Uber was late. Of course, it was. Traffic on Third Milan Bridge was a beast that couldn't be tamed. When the driver finally arrived, he had the audacity to ask, "Madam, are you going to Lekki Phase 1 or 2?" By the time Sade arrived at the co-working space, she was an hour late. Her blouse wrinkled, her makeup smudged, and her confidence dangling by a thread. Korede Owolabi was the kind of man whose presence made people straighten up. The youngest co-founder of a fast-growing fintech startup, he carried his success like a tailored suit, clean, sharp, and intimidating. He watched, bemused, as a flustered Sade stumbled into the conference room. "Sorry I'm late," she panted, clutching her laptop like it was her lifeline. Korede asked a bro, "You are Miss Adeyemi, the fashion startup?" Sade nodded. "Yes, I had transportation issues. Lagos wahala." Instead of dismissing her, Korede gestured to the seat across from him. "Let's hear what you have got." Her pitch was passionate, imperfect, but filled with authenticity. Korede, despite himself, was intrigued. Weeks passed. Sade startup received a seed investment, and Korede became her reluctant mentor. They argued a lot, but beneath the friction was undeniable chemistry. One evening they both attended a friend's traditional engagement in Abeokuta. The music was loud, the laughter contagious, and the palm wine free-flowing. "You don't look like the type to dance bata," Sade teased. Swaying slightly, Korede smirked. "Only if you promise not to step on my toes." They danced, they drank, they dared each other. One dare led to another until they stood in front of an old Baba who performed mock Yoruba wedding rites for fun. "I now pronounce you husband and wife," the Baba intoned as everyone clapped and cheered. They laughed until they realized they had signed an actual marriage registry. Sade blinked. "What the hell is this?" Korede groaned, rubbing his temple. Did we? Did we actually get married?" On the table sat a government-recognized marriage certificate, complete with photos of their drunken ceremony. Sade laughed hysterically. "This has to be a prank. Tell me this is a prank." "I don't even remember half of it," Korede exclaimed. Calls to the registry confirmed the worst. They were legally married. "We can just annul it, right?" Sade asked. "It's not that simple," said the lawyer, an elderly man with reading glasses. "The marriage was witnessed, documented and filed. An annulment requires substantial grounds," Korede muttered. "I should have stopped after the third cup of palm wine." They left the office in silence. Then Sade turned to him. "We keep this quiet. No one has to know until we fix it." Korede agreed, but nothing about their lives would stay quiet for long. As weeks passed, the line between pretending and reality blurred. Korede helped Sade land her biggest fashion showcase. Sade introduced Korede to a world beyond numbers and profit margins. But just as they began to explore the ideas of what if this isn't a mistake, Korede's ex-girlfriend returned from UK. "I made a mistake leaving you," she told him. Let's try again. Shadi overheard the conversation and saw Korede hesitate. Shadi packed her things without a word. She left him a note. We were never supposed to be married. Maybe this was the universe playing a trick on us. Go be with who you truly love. But she was wrong. Korede showed up the next day at a fashion event, soaked in rain, holding the annulment paper, but he had scribbled something new across them. The applause was thunderous as Sade designs lit up the runway at the Lagos Urban Fashion Expo. Models in bold Ankara patterns and chic sweatwear danced across the stage. Her brand finally getting the recognition it deserved, but Sade wasn't smiling. She stood backstage, her chest hollow. The last message Korede had sent still sat unread on her phone. Please, Sade, wait for me. She couldn't bear to open it. The image of Korede and his ex, their heads close together, haunted her. No matter what he said now, she didn't want to be a second option. Korede arrived late, drenched in Lagos rain, clutching a folder filled with their annulment documents and his handwritten plea for something more, but security wouldn't let him in. I am her husband, he said. Everybody they claim husband tonight, Oga, the security man said, unimpressed. Korede stood there, water dripping down his suit. Helpless, Shade had already left. Kitty booked them a quick girls' getaway to Abuja. You need space, she had insisted, and possibly a rebound. Shade smiled, but didn't argue. Abuja was calmer, quieter. She tried to focus on healing, but healing gets complicated when your heart is still married. She kept glancing at her ring. She still hadn't removed it. Back in Lagos, Korede had no choice but to tell his parents. You did what? His mother screamed. You got married at a party. His father laughed. You are your mother's son, oh. Too much sense, but no control. Now what? I want to make it right. I love her, Korede admitted. That shut everyone up. She hadn't expected him to come to Abuja. Definitely not to find her outside a local gallery, holding jollof in one hand and a painting in the other. Sade, he said, breathless. Don't run this time, just listen. She froze, then sighed. Talk. I didn't get back with my ex, Korede began. She came back, yes, but I didn't choose her. I didn't want her, I wanted you. Sade's voice trembled. Then why did you hesitate that day? Because I thought I didn't deserve you. I thought you would realize this whole marriage was a joke and walk away, and I couldn't bear it. Silence. She finally looked at him. Then, why did you chase me? Because I realized that marrying you was the smartest mistake I ever made. That night, Korede brought her to a quiet garden lit with fairy lights. A small string band played softly in the background. I know we are already married, but I want to do it right, he said, getting on one knee. Tears welled in Sade's eyes. Will you stay married to me? Intentionally this time. She nodded, choked up. Yes, but this time, no palm wine, just the truth. They laughed, and he kissed her hand. The next morning, Sade woke up to find a letter on her pillow. I had to go to Abuja Central Hospital early. It's something I've been avoiding telling you. Her heart stopped. I have been having seizures. They think it might be a tumor. I didn't want to scare you. I didn't want to drag you into my mess. But if I don't come back, know that I loved you with every mistake, every moment. Her hands trembled as she picked up her phone to call him. Sade burst through the hospital doors, her heart pounding louder than her footsteps. Nurses turned as she frantically approached the decks. I am looking for Korede Owolabi. He was admitted this morning. A nurse scanned the chart. Ward B4, but he's undergoing test. You have to wait. Wait? Her legs nearly gave out. She sank into a seat, hands shaking. This was not how it was supposed to go. They were supposed to laugh after their accidental marriage, not cry over a hospital chart. Hours passed. When Sade finally saw him, her breath caught. Korede looked weaker, smaller, yet he still managed a lopsided smile. I didn't want you to see me like this, he murmured. She walked up to him, brushing his hair back. And I didn't want to fall in love with a stubborn man who hides things. But here we are. Korede chuckled, then winced. They found something. It's burning, but pressing against a nerve. I will need a surgery. Sade swallowed hard. Then we would face it together. I didn't marry you just for the laughs, Korede. The surgery took 4 hours. Sade didn't move from the chapel, not even once. I know we made a mistake, but please don't take him, she whispered into the silence. Nkechi arrived with food, but Sade couldn't eat. The world outside that chapel ceased to exist until the surgeon came in. He's fine. He made it. Sade wept. Recovery was slow, but love was patient. Sade stayed in Abuja. They read together, watched old Nollywood movies, and argued about soup recipes. One morning, Sade handed Korede her sketch pad. These are designs for a new line. I'm calling it Second Chance. Korede touched the page, just like us. Months later, in a quiet Lagos garden surrounded by close friends and family, Sade walked towards Korede. This time, no palm wine, no drunken tears, just intentions. I, Sade, choose to marry you, not by mistake, but by miracle, she said. Korede's voice shook. And I, Korede, promise to never let a mistake stop me from choosing the love of my life. They kissed as fireworks lit the sky. Back home, everything had changed, and yet stayed the same. Laughter echoed through their flats. Work, love, and silly arguments coexisted. One evening, as Sade stitched a new dress, Korede looked over at her. You know, that night in Abeokuta, I think God was laughing at us. Sade smiled. Well, thank God for divine comedy. They smiled, leaning into each other. 6 months later, Sade stared at the test strip in disbelief. No way, not another one, she cried out. From the living room, Korede yelled back, What happened? She emerged slowly, holding the test. He stared, then burst out laughing. Well, if this baby is anything like our marriage, we are in for one wild ride. They laughed, they kissed, and somewhere in heaven, the angels probably shook their heads.